This is an aerial disaster that really happened in the history of aviation. A Boeing plane is flying at a height of feet meter. Suddenly an explosion. The fuselage began to shake vigorously. When the pilot was trying to control the plane, airmen in the cabin saw a terrifying figure. A Boeing plane from the United States Air Force. The plane flies from New York to Texas. There are a total of passengers on the plane. The pilot in the cockpit is preparing for takeoff. The captain of this flight, Schultz, has a lot of experience. He has been driving the Boeing for Balsi, was the first female pilot in the U.S. Navy to drive a fighter. Vice Captain Ellis was an Air Force miner. Has been in service at Southwest Airlines for... This flight mission is mainly completed by the vice captain. The captain is in charge of monitoring and communication. And flight TTS will take off on time. The weather was good on the day of takeoff. Two experienced pilots thought it was a peaceful day, but I didn't expect the danger to come. The plane suddenly sounded a huge explosion 10 minutes after takeoff. There's an unknown gas in the cabin. All kinds of alarms in the cockpit at the same time. The plane began to shake vigorously. And to the left, the vice captain tried hard to control the plane, but he couldn't see clearly. But fortunately, the weather was clear on the day. Soon it stopped the plane from moving. Two pilots were unable to determine the specific situation at one time. At this time, the climb rate and the engine speed were dropping rapidly. Under his comfort, everyone's mood has stabilized. The flight attendant began to check the passenger, but when it was checked to redraw, the front of the screen was shocked by the air. There was a pair of hands floating outside the window of the plane. A female passenger was pulled out of the plane with a huge suction fork. Half of her body was hanging outside. If there is no seat into the plane, but there was too much suction fork. Several people tried to pull it. The flight attendant hurriedly called the driver's cabin, telling the emergency situation in the cab. The two flight attendants were shocked after listening. They didn't expect this to happen. The plane must land as soon as possible. Otherwise, this female passenger will be suffocated in the air or frozen to death. The flight attendant came up with a solution. Reduce the flight speed and tell the cabin that the plane will slow down. Everyone took the opportunity. Successfully pulled the female passenger back into the cabin, but must land quickly. Give this female passenger to the hospital for rescue. At this time, the plane dropped to meter. The pilot was ready to land urgently. The flight attendant received a notification from the captain and organized passengers to prepare for the crash. Flight 56 ran at an amazing speed. The landing speed is miles faster than a normal passenger. If you can't control the plane in this situation, the consequences will be unimaginable. At the last moment, Captain Schultz used all his strength to slow down. In the end, the plane landed safely at Fitch-Angary National Airport. The ground rescue team has arrived. The medical staff rushed to the plane to try to rescue the female passenger. This is the most important crash accident in the United States since Then the National Transport Commission sent an investigation team to permit the buoy fan blades absorb air and drive the propeller. It is an important component of the spray in the remaining leaf. Experts found a trace similar to seagull. Seagulls show that the metal has been superimposed. It needs to be repaired or replaced, otherwise it will break. Usually airlines regularly inspect planes to ensure that there are no problems with the engine. The investigation team went through the maintenance records of the Eccles aircraft fan plate. It was found that the 7 inspections from that were normal. This makes people feel strange. If the death plane was passed in the 6-year inspection, when did these cracks appear again? Through the microscope. Observed the surface of the more efficient and advanced supervised detection method. This is also the method that most airlines will choose, but I don't know why. The Southwest Airlines has been using a conservative method. I didn't find any problem with the fan plate. At this time, more than Boeing engines are in service, they use the same sheet. This accident also exposed the weakness of the Boeing. The kilogram fan sheet is broken. The foot chain that hits the bottom is thrown down. This is the weakest part of the ends. After the foot chain is broken, the fan sheet is blown away. Then the fan sheet is torn from the ends. The broken window of the broken plane causes the passenger to be sucked out of the wind and eventually turned into a tragedy after this accident. NHTSA recommends Boeing to redesign the engine. Aircraft industry promotes the use of superviolet detection. I believe this new technology will be widely used. There will be no more similar difficulty.